Hello. The failure to protect ourselves from cyber attacks can be very costly. As more businesses today use the internet and virtual platforms to communicate, and with the fast growing use of cloud based software, critical and personal information and data are shared on the web and will be targeted by criminals. So, data security becomes critical and must be taken seriously. However, there are still businesses who fail to meet the minimum protection and security of their most valuable assets, infrastructures, and even employees. The consequences can be very costly and could result in legal liabilities, negative images, compromised suppliers, customers, and employees. In short, it is not worth the risk. Here are some insights from a hacker I have met recently. I had the opportunity to interview a hacker and asked him, how easy is it to hack a company? He said,
We try to use the information gathered from the internet. Then we look for publicly exposed services or domains. We try to get access. There have been times when the username and password were set to admin and admin, or the SSH keys were found lying there on GitHub. But if none of this work, although most of the time they do, we take a look at the infrastructure and try to find weaknesses in that company. This can be either vulnerable applications or default credentials. In a nutshell, we try to get in by attacking their infrastructure.
well, the numbers are staggering. Damages related to cybercrime is projected to hit $6 trillion annually by this year, 2021. In fact, cybercrime has increased by 600% since the beginning of the global pandemic. A wake-up call. So what are the key threats? Let me list some of the threats that we see today, very popular. First one is social engineering and phishing attacks. In phishing, typically a hacker emails you a link or an attachment through which he gets your credentials. It can be highly tailored for a person, which is known as spear phishing. In 2020, almost a third of the breaches incorporated social engineering techniques, out of which 90% were phishing attacks. Last July, Twitter fell victim to a successful phishing attack, which netted scammers more than $100,000. Also, even bigger, cybercriminals stole $2.3 million from a Texas school and tried to obtain personal data by forging an email from the World Health Organization. This year, criminals have managed to create phishing schemes through the company's cloud applications. Because of the crime's relative newness and the implicit trust that employees have in their companies, cloud-based phishing has been one of the top cybercrimes in 2021. A second type of attack is ransomware. Well, here, highly developed ransomware attacks have significantly increased and have caused companies to lose millions of dollars in ransom payments. Ransomware is a data encrypted program that demands payment to release the infected data. In 2020, demands reached $1.4 billion and have risen even more since then. Ransomware is the third most popular type of malware used in data breaches and is employed in 22% of the cases. This year, hackers compromised COVID-19 research data and demanded $1.14 million from the University of California. They attacked photography giant Canon, and they were even responsible for lethal incidents. In Germany, I spoke about that before, cybercriminals targeted a hospital for ransom. With patient care systems being disabled, it resulted in the death of a patient. Very unfortunate. A third type of malware or criminal attacks is attacking and targeting software. The top 30 e-commerce retailers in the United States are connected to over 1,000 third-party resources. Each of them may have a malware. If one application within an ecosystem is compromised, it opens the hacker a gateway to other domains. A breach caused by a third party costs on average $4.3 million. According to Verizon, web applications were involved in 43% of the breaches, and as much as 80% of all organizations experience cybersecurity breach originating from a vulnerability in their third-party software. In 2020, third-party exposures affected companies including Spotify, General Electric, Instagram, and other major names. Cloud computing vulnerabilities. Cloudjacking is new and is on the rise. A hacker gets into your company cloud, they may try to reconfigure the cloud code and manipulate sensitive data, even eavesdrop on employees and company communication. And they will expand their reach to take control of the entire cloud. The global market for cloud computing is estimated to grow by 17% this year alone, estimated to exceed $250 billion. So imagine the attractiveness of this to cyber criminals. While the pandemic lasts, the economy also witnessed a 50% increase in cloud use across all industries. This trend is perfect to lure for hackers. One of the biggest attacks this year was aimed at Blackboard, a cloud service provider. Attackers installed a ransomware and stole payment information from millions of users worldwide. A fifth type is endpoint security and network perimeter. Of course, we all use laptops, and more workers have switched to remote work in the last year due to the pandemic. These security issues become bigger targets for hackers. Remote work environments often lack many of the security measures which are usually put in place in your company's workplace. Hackers will exploit inadequate network perimeter and endpoint security. I'm referring here to measures that secure people's laptops and company computer networks and its connections to various computers, phones, tablets, servers, databases, everything. I just mentioned mobile, and mobile malware is now a type of software that specifically targets mobile devices and is very likely to be one of the most pertinent cybersecurity threats this year. Malicious software known as malware targets all types of mobile phones, including those from Apple and Samsung and others. In the middle of last year, a type of malware known as Trojan virus was hidden in a game called Color Block. It was on Google Play Store. Unknowingly, more than 50,000 people downloaded what they thought was a game, but really malware. The Trojan, called DVMap, made it possible for cybercriminals to monitor devices on which it had been installed and even put new applications on your phones and software programs, of course, to steal your data. A seventh type of very critical threat is affecting what we call the Internet of Things, IoT devices. Many everyday devices, such as fitness trackers and even some in-cars applications, are IoT devices. These devices exchange information over a network without human involvement. Gartner predicts that by the year 2025, cyber attackers will have weaponized operational technology environments to successfully harm or even kill humans. According to Gartner, attacks on operating technology, hardware and software that monitors and controls equipment, assets and processes have become more common. Recently, events like the Colonial Pipeline ransomware attack have highlighted the need to have proper protection for infrastructure. Another type that I've spoken about before is deepfakes. A deepfake is produced by artificial intelligence. It takes an existing video, photo, or voice recording and manipulates someone's image or voice to falsify their actions or speech. I believe that deepfakes will be used by cyber criminals to impersonate members of a company to gain access to important information. This is starting to become really commonly used and very important. So we have some recommendations on using the latest trends in cybersecurity to protect companies and yourselves. The first would be what we call XDR, that's extended detection and response. These are capabilities that are emerging quickly, and they automatically collect and correlate data from multiple security products to improve the threat detection and provide an incident response capability. For example, an attack that has caused alerts on email, endpoint, or network can be combined into a single incident. The primary goals for an XDR solution are to increase detection accuracy and to improve security operations efficiency and productivity. Number two, security process automation emerges to eliminate repetitive tasks. This is an area I was personally very interested in. The shortage of skilled security practitioners and the availability of automation within security tools have driven the use of more security process automation. This technology automates computer-centric security operations and tasks based on predefined rules and templates. These tasks are performed much faster, they are scalable in a way with fewer errors. At Ingram Micro Security, for example, we have automated two consultancy processes into products, which we call iSight, and this automates PDRs or public discovery reports, and Align, which is a NIST security posture reporting. The results and measurements and recommendations are produced in seconds as opposed to hours or days. A third recommendation is the use of artificial intelligence, which creates new security responsibilities for protecting digital businesses. AI, and especially machine learning, continues to automate and augment human decision making across a broad set of use cases in security. However, these technologies require security expertise to address several challenges. Protect AI-powered digital business systems, leverage AI with packaged security products, and enhance security defenses, and anticipate nefarious use of AI by attackers. Attackers use AI as well. A growing number of key partners, along with our own experts and data scientists, have incorporated AI and machine learning in security solutions trained to generate alerts or threats, identify new types of malware, and protect sensitive data. A fourth recommendation is to deploy the latest data classification technologies to protect the most valuable assets, your data. Your data is the cornerstone of successful, secure use of data in any enterprise. Identifying the sensitive and classified or personal data that has to be secured, encrypted, and managing its storage is critical in any organization. Data classification goes hand in hand with DLP technology, which is data loss prevention. DLP tools can find, monitor, control sensitive information as well as personal information under the data protection laws so you don't become liable. A fifth recommendation is to keep your software up to date. One of the most important cybersecurity precautions to create defenses and to mitigate ransomware is patching outdated software, both operating systems, applications, and more. This helps remove critical vulnerabilities that hackers use to access your devices. Our iSight threat intelligence report can actually identify your vulnerabilities and tell you what to do. A sixth recommendation is to use two-factor or multi-factor authentication. Two-factor or multi-factor authentication is a service that adds additional layers of security to the standard password method of online identification. Without two-factor authentication, you would normally enter a username or a password, but with the two-factor, you would be prompted to enter an additional authentication method, such as a personal identification code, a one-time password, or even a fingerprint. A seventh recommendation is the new focus on SASE for cloud. As I said earlier, cloud usage is increasing exponentially, allowing cloud jacking and more. So cloud-delivered security services are also growing increasingly popular. So what is SASE? Secure Access Service Edge technology. It allows organizations to better protect mobile workers and cloud applications by routing traffic through a cloud-based security stack versus backhauling the traffic so it flows through a physical security system in a data center. More about cloud. So more protection for cloud native applications. A full life cycle approach. Many organizations use the same security product on end user facing endpoints, and they did so for server workloads. A technique that is often continued on during the lift and shift cloud migrations. But cloud native applications require different rules and technologies and techniques, leading to the development of what we call cloud workload protection, or CWPP in short. But as the applications grow increasingly dynamic, the security options need to shift as well, combining CWPP with the emerging Cloud Security Posture Management, CSPM, accounts for all the evolution in cybersecurity needs in the cloud today. A ninth recommendation that we have is zero trust network access technology. This is also replacing VPNs, the traditional VPNs. A COVID pandemic has highlighted many of the problems with traditional VPNs. Emerging zero trust network access enables enterprises to control remote access to specific applications. This is a more secure option as it hides applications from the internet. We call it for short ZTNA. It only communicates to ZTNA service providers and can only be accessed via the ZTNA provider, who is a cloud service provider. This reduces the risk of an attacker piggybacking on a VPN connection to attack other applications. So what do we offer? At Ingram Micro, we carry the most advanced cyber technology from leading vendors, and we combine it with our own services offered by our centers of excellence. The services available from our centers of excellence are available globally, and in the Middle East, Africa, and Europe alone, we have 3 cybersecurity centers of excellence offering assessments, consultancy, and education. So connect with us, and we will help you avoid these cybersecurity risks. Thank you.